Hey everybody, it is Chef Erin here from Coffee Flower Lab and my guest chef today, Chef Abby Canfield. Say hi to Facebook
Hello,
Live.
friends.
We are coming as always from the Coffee Flower Lab here in Seattle, Washington. A beautiful day, but it's cold outside. I know, not as cold as other parts of the country. We're a little bit spoiled here. So thank you for joining us. If you're hunkered down inside, stay warm, stay safe. If you are in the Pacific Northwest, after this, get outside. As you have noticed by Abby's presence, Chef Chelsea is not with us. She went ahead and had that baby, so we'd like to say hi to Chelsea and her new baby girl. Congratulations to Chelsea and her husband Ryan and big sister Rowan. So today we're going to do something fun and easy. It happens to be my favorite thing that we have ever made with coffee flour. It is coffee flour granola. I am not a seeds and nuts girl by any stretch of the imagination, but I love this recipe so much. One, it's easy, you know, I like the crazy easy recipes. It makes a lot, so you can make 1 or 2 batches at the same time, and it can take you through a couple of weeks, or if you like me, a couple of days, because you eat it so much. And you can really personalize it with anything that you like. So I'm going to have Abby just kind of follow my instructions and kind of put this together. But first Abby, I want to ask you about your background a little bit. Not to put you on the spot, but Abby has had experience with coffee flour. She's used it in her jobs, and she has also participated in some pop-up events that we've had here at the Coffee Flower Lab. So she has dabbled in the coffee flour world a bit. And can you tell us some of the things that you have made with coffee flour?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was working at Agrodolce restaurant in Fremont, we used coffee flour for a variety of products. We put it in our waffle for brunch, which was used for both the sweet waffle and our super awesome chicken and waffles, which is really good.
I was not invited to that. We're going to have a talk about that
next time.
Next time.
Anyway, we also used coffee flour in a bunch of dessert options. Our favorite was a riff off your chocolate olive oil coffee flour cake.
You guys have seen us make that?
Fantastic. Yes, with the almond flour. It was gluten-free. It was great for, you know, our gluten-free diners.
Yes.
Also super delicious. And we've experimented with a bunch of different things, rubs on meats and different marinades and fun little baking projects.
Awesome. We love when the creative chefs get out there and take things that they've learned from us and then they put it into their own world and run with it. So the first thing that we're going to do with this granola is in a bowl. I'm going to have you take that. In a bowl, we are going to combine 400 grams of maple syrup and 400 grams of canola oil. And on this, I want to make sure that you know to use, you don't need to use the top shelf maple syrup, but don't use the really bottom shelf stuff either, because if you use the bottom shelf stuff, your granola is going to become one solid brick, and we don't want that. Yeah, nobody likes a brick of granola. You shouldn't have to break your granola apart with a chisel.
Hammer.
So we're just going to mix those together, and in that, and they're not going to combine completely. The syrup and the oil, they're not going to be become emulsified, but that's fine. And to that, we're going to add brown sugar. This is 300 grams of brown sugar. Some of you may be losing your minds right now saying that is so much sugar. It's granola. It's got a lot of sugar. That's what makes it delicious, but it helps stick it together too. And this also, as I mentioned, it's a large recipe. It makes a lot of granola. So that's all combined. And to that, we're going to add 60 grams of coffee flour. And this is the regular coffee flour. And while Abby's doing this, I'm just going to go quickly review what coffee flour is. For those of you who may just be joining us for the first time, or those who are repeat watchers, we're just going to go over the fact that when coffee is harvested, the farmers are harvesting the coffee cherry, because coffee is actually a fruit. So they're harvesting the cherry. And what they're after is the pit of that cherry, which looks like this, and then this goes on to become roasted and becomes your morning cup of joe. What they do with the fruit that surrounds that cherry pit, so the flesh of the cherry, they typically throw it on the ground and it becomes an environmental hazard. We at Coffee Flour go in, we rescue that fruit, we stabilize it and dry it and mill it to become either our coffee flour coarse grind, which looks like this, or our coffee flour regular grind, which looks like this. So in the granola mixture, we are using the regular grind. I have not tried it with the coarse grind, but I bet it would work because granola has a tooth to it anyway. It has some chew. So I bet the coarse grind would work just as nicely. Then to that, we're going to add 6 grams of salt. You always want a little bit of salt to add to this, to kind of counterbalance the sweetness of it. So mix that in. Excuse me. Then in a big bowl here, busting out the big bowl, we have 600 grams of whole oats. These are the oats that you typically make your morning oatmeal with. If you use the whole oats, I think it works nice, much nicer than if you get the quick oats that are chopped up much smaller. So another nice thing about this recipe is you can kind of adjust the amounts if you want to use more oats and have less syrup. Knock yourself out. That's easy to do. So we've got 4 cups of oats here. Gonna dump them in a bowl. Highly skilled.
Yes.
I went to
technical
school.
process there.
I went to a fancy culinary school to learn how to do that. And then if you want to add in these 4 ingredients here, just add them straight into the bowl.
Perfect.
So we've got some pepitas or some pumpkin seeds, 100 grams of those, and then we have, what's the grams on the coconut? Was 130 grams of shredded coconut, and 40 grams of chia seeds, and 57 grams
7 grams
of sunflower seeds. I know 57 grams seems like an odd amount. Again, you could go ahead, go crazy, bump it up to 60.
60. Whoa.
Let's just say 60.
Dream big.
So these are all of our dry ingredients. We're just going to mix these up really, not really well, just mix them up some. And here comes the fun part. Those of you who watched us make popcorn, and there was something else that we mixed by hand. Oh, the protein, peanut butter protein bites. You know that I like to get in there and mix stuff up. And I know, black gloves, that's weird, right? I've never seen the black gloves before, but this is what we're going for today.
Fabulous.
Black like my heart and my soul.
That's what I hear.
So this made a really nice syrup. I said that the oil and the maple syrup weren't going to emulsify, but once we added the brown sugar, it really came together nicely.
Yeah.
Abby just asked if we're drizzling. It could be a drizzle. It could be a add half now, add half in a minute. We'll just see.
Since there's 2 of us,
do what you feel like.
See how it goes.
So that's going in. I'm going to take this out and just get in there. And I'm just mixing this all up. All the oats, all the pepitas, and things like pepitas and chia seeds. They used to be not hard to find, but maybe something that you wouldn't find at your regular grocery store. Times have changed, and you can find these ingredients at your regular grocery store nowadays. Now, if you want to go ahead and add things like hemp hearts, or if you want to add some puffed quinoa, whatever you like to eat as a regular ingredient in your diet, that is a seed or a nut or a grain, go ahead and add it to the granola. The beautiful thing about granola is you can customize it. Perfect. Thank you, Abby.
Absolutely.
So I'm just mixing this up, and while I'm mixing this up, Abby, if you want to chop up some of those apricots.
Apricots. Yep.
And this recipe is already on Facebook, and I believe it's on our website as well. And you will see that it is a little bit different. The recipe that's listed doesn't have apricots in it. The reason I'm adding apricots today is because I like apricots. And you will also notice that I am not adding nuts to this, which our recipe has nuts listed. The reason that I'm not adding nuts today is I don't like nuts. So
Totally customizable.
It's really about me, this granola today, which I kind of like. So this is all nice and mixed up, and my hands are all sticky. This is a really great recipe for, it's got multiple uses. I use it as a topping for yogurt, and while my kids are having their bowl of ice cream for dessert every night, I do the yogurt with granola and sliced fruit on top. That's my thing, and I do that for breakfast and I do that for dessert. You can also bag this up. Weather's getting nicer, summer's on its way, people are going to be hiking, getting in shape. You can bag some of this up in little the Ziploc bags and take it with you hiking. It's a good source of energy.
Great
Kind of a
travel
slow, great travel snack. You can put it in kids' snack bags for summer camps that are coming up. So all I'm doing now, so this is all mixed up, all of our dry ingredients. I'm just going to take this and I'm going to spread it out on a sheet pan or a cookie tray, whatever you want to call it. That's been lined with parchment paper because this is very sticky. Lined with parchment paper and just kind of mushing it around. You don't want a really thick layer, but it doesn't need to be paper thin either. So I'm going to do this on 2 separate pans just so it all fits. My oven, you are lucky enough to have a convection oven at home. Awesome. I want to come to your house.
Yep.
You want to set your oven on convection at 225. If you are doing a standard oven, about 250, you want to bake this at a very low heat. If you do it at anything higher than that, the sugars are going to start to burn and you're going to end up with a house filled with smoke, and that's no good.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that.
And the granola's ruined.
And the granola's ruined. All your hard
After
work.
all that, right?
So, of course I forgot something. Abby,
Yes.
did you know, do you want to read that
You
sign?
know, I didn't know, Erin. For every cup of coffee you drink, fruit goes to waste. Billions of pounds of fruit. Now you can eat that fruit for breakfast and anything made with coffee flour.
That's our
Great
little
news.
sign. That is great news. So I'm putting this granola in, taking the granola that I made earlier out. Thank you much.
Yes.
So the trick here, along with doing a very low heat, is that every 10 or 15 minutes you want to go through and turn the granola with, say, a rubber scraper or a spatula, so that it's getting cooked evenly. The entire surface is getting exposed to heat, and then you kind of turn it and give it a new surface, get it exposed. So it's being cooked evenly, and then it will crisp up. So every 10 to 15 minutes, and I would say at a heat this low, anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, just depending on how thick of a layer you put it on the sheet pan. And then once it comes out, as I have here,
TV magic.
TV magic. I'm going to grab another bowl so we can mix it up.
Excellent.
Just made one bowl.
One
Use
bowl.
that bowl.
That bowl looks like the right size.
That's the right bowl.
Excellent.
So take it out of the oven and, ooh, this is nice. And it's got the coconut. Get in there. The coconut and the fajitas
Yum.
and the oats and a few little chia seeds in
Little
there. Chia seeds.
Yep.
There's all kinds of good sprinkles in here.
Now, do you want it to cool all the way, or can it be warm when you do this next step here?
You want it to cool. Feel that was hot. Making a mess. As we have established, it's not a complete Facebook Live session until Erin makes a huge mess.
Perfect.
Another good reason to have parchment paper on here. So you do want it to cool. For adding the chopped fruit, like we're going to add.
Perfect.
This
Going
was
well.
exactly as I intended.
Yes.
And this will cool pretty fast.
Yep.
So this next step here, I'm just going to do this. Well, if you want to add in this this
Fruit in here.
yeah.
We've got 200 grams of dried cranberries. I think these are like craisin type of things. Already sweetened, super delicious. 85 grams of golden raisins. Just throw those guys in. And then our chopped up mystery amount of apricots here.
This is some
apricots.
some apricots.
The right amount of apricots.
Right amount of apricots. So all you want to do is toss this and get it all mixed up, and voila, people, you have granola. So as I mentioned, you can keep this for quite a long time if you put it in an airtight container.
Excellent.
I don't know that it will actually last in your house that long because it is so delicious.
Probably not.
So as I
Even on
mentioned,
everything.
I like to put it on yogurt. It's a nice, healthy alternative to having something like ice cream. You can also just put some in a bowl and pour milk over it like a cereal. Or you can put some in a bowl, pour milk in it on top of it, and if you're in a rush, put it in the microwave, and it becomes a warm, hot cereal, which is delicious.
That's a good idea.
Now, some people, I'm not going to say who, some people like to add chocolate chips in every now and again to make it extra delicious. If you're going to do that, it does need to be completely cold. Otherwise, the chocolate chips will melt into one blob, and then you'll have more of a, not that this is a bad thing, a blob of chocolatey granola, like a granola ball. So Abby's cutting up some strawberries. We've got our bowl of yogurt here, and I'm just going to go ahead and take some of this delicious granola that we've made, add it on to our yogurt. I'm going to throw some blueberries on there as well.
Perfect.
Throw some strawberries on there. We'll just multi-use our utensils.
It's all going to the same place.
All go into the same place. That, my friends, is a delicious, healthy, colorful bowl using coffee flour granola. And again, as we have established in prior episodes of Facebook Live, by using coffee flour, you are helping the environment by removing a potentially harmful waste product from the environment and using it. And by doing that, so you're cleaning up the environment, you're increasing your own nutrition because of the amount of fiber in coffee flour. It is also incredibly high in antioxidants. It's got trace minerals, it's got potassium, it's got iron, all of those good things for yourself. But you're also increasing the revenue stream for farmers and for the people in coffee growing regions, which is fantastic, and changing their lives. So if you are on Instagram and following us, you will see that yesterday was actually the 2-year anniversary of us making coffee flour available to the public in a retail fashion. And we started off with selling it at Mark's Pantry, so you can still get it at markspantry.com. In that 2 years, we have expanded to selling at Sprouts Markets, if you are lucky enough to live in regions that have Sprouts
My mom
Markets.
does. I mentioned it to her when I first started talking to you about this, and she went out and bought some like the next day. I was
What's your
really
mom's
excited about it. Annette Canfield, if she's out there.
Hi, Annette Canfield. So we're excited that Annette's out there buying it. And nuts.com actually is selling the regular and the course now, I believe. And you can buy it on Amazon. I've heard rumor that you can buy it on Amazon. And what am I missing? Mark, Sprouts,
Nature's Earthly Choice.
Nature's Earthly Choice. That's a new member of our family. So they are selling it as an ingredient that they started off adding to smoothies.
Oh.
Yeah, so we have done a smoothie episode on here before, and I think it was right about that same time.
Yeah.
So shout out to Nature's Earthly Choice. So that's going to be, I think, a pretty quick one for us today. We've got this awesome bowl of yogurt and granola and fresh fruit. And if you have any suggestions, any questions for us, shout them out either on Facebook. You can always reach out to us on Instagram. Our handle on Instagram is Coffee Flour Lab. On Facebook, well, if you're watching us, you are already on Facebook. Welcome. Or you can go to our website, which is coffeeflour.com, and you can see all types of recipes. Some we have shown on here, some are coming up soon. If you have any ideas of recipes you'd like to see us try, if you're trying some at home and you want us to make it on here, let me know. We'll get it in there. And in 2 weeks, I know we typically do this every second Thursday. Next time, I think we're going to have to shift it up a little bit. I'm actually headed down to Savannah for the Research Chefs Association. So I will be in Savannah, but maybe I will do a broadcast from there. I'm still kind of working that out.
That'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Lots of guest chefs down there. I can have
I'll
next
fly
to
down.
me.
I'll meet you.
Abby will fly down.
Good looking
So until then, and we'll post whether we're going to do it on that Thursday or we might do it a day earlier. We'll keep you up to date. Reschedule. But thank you, Chef Abby Canfield, for joining me. And I'm sure that you'll see Abby's face here again. She's part of the family now. She's never getting out. So until then, in 2-ish weeks, everybody have a lovely time. Stay safe, stay warm, stay healthy, and we will see you soon.